channel. My name is Bree Buonomo, and today we are doing week 2 and 3 of my Reedsy learning course. So I do want to just say that last time in my video, if you watched my last one, I may have misspoke about the Reedsy affiliate program. I'm still trying to figure out how it works, and I'm so used to saying that you get a 10% discount with Fable Grounds coffee, which I also represent right now. I'm not actually sure if you get a discount or if it's just more of a referral program for me. So if you are interested in the thing and you decide to sign up, then I could potentially get some kickbacks, which could help me maybe do another course down the line. So I think that's really how it works. But if I get any more clarification, I'll let you know. So I just wanted to say I'm sorry if I misspoke in my last one. Now that the disclaimer's out of the way, I do have the affiliate link. So if anyone's ever interested, you can go down below and click on it and sign up for courses that way. That would be really cool. It would support me, my writing in this channel. But enough of that. We are in week 2, and week 2 starts with movement. Now, according to Tom Bromley, this is what we call the secret sauce. So these are all like the tips of how to like really get into the flow and like how to make your story work, which he said like maybe they're not really like super secret, but he wants to be very clear and open about how to make them work. So for the week, we have movement, change, space, peril, voice, and then opening pages is the authors that come in. So, you know, we have 6 days of videos again. There is also a live today at 3. So with that being said, I wanted to just kind of clarify that I am going to be jumping into this, and we're going to probably be taking notes and watching videos for a good portion of today because my husband is having some minor surgery. So we will be at the hospital. I'm going to be in the waiting room for quite a bit, and I need something to do. So I'm probably going to be sitting with my headphones, doing all the work, taking my notes and bringing my notebook. The main thing is I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to participate in the live because that's possibly when my husband will be getting out of his surgery, and depending on when they let me into the recovery room, I'm either going to be like sitting with him, we'll be leaving the hospital, or something. You know, I don't know what the timeline's gonna be, so I was hoping I would be able to watch it live today, but I was under the impression that his surgery was gonna be this morning, and then they gave us an afternoon time. So it is what it is, but that's where we're at. So this week, my goal is to watch all of these videos and reread the 12,000 words I have written for Vampire. Because if I can start writing new words this week, or at least maybe taking what I've been learning in the first 2 weeks and applying it to any changes I might have for my novel, the goal is once I am through this like reread of the first 12,000 words, I'm not looking at it again until, you know, we're done, when we're going back to edit. I also said that last week I got feedback from somebody who was really very good with like his like what he caught in like the discrepancies, but I decided I'm not going to edit those yet. I am going to wait until we are done with the novel and actually going back to edit, because the feedback is really great, but it really is like editing feedback and not something that I need to jump on right now, because that is what I tend to do. And as we've learned in this course so far, like going back to edit will never make you satisfied. Like if you just keep editing the same stuff, then like you're not going to progress anymore, and like nothing's ever going to be perfect. So I am going to keep that in mind, and I'm not going to edit what I got back so far. Just something to keep in mind as I progress the story and like the visualization of things. So, all right, with that intro out of the way, I'm going to go get ready. We are leaving shortly, and I will be watching videos in a little bit. So let's go for week 2. Hello friends, hi. It's been a few days. It's actually Saturday, March 2nd, and I have not updated at all on Reedsy's week 2. So I figured while I'm making my crock-pot chili and I'm prepping everything, I would just quickly fill you in on what's been going on, because I can't seem to find time to sit down and update this vlog this week. And not that it's been even the worst week ever. It's just been very busy, you know? So yeah, I just chopped my onions and I'm about to pop them in my pan. Okay, so as I said, it's March 2nd, it's Saturday, And I think I underestimated how much of a toll being in a hospital for a few hours would be. And not even like anything was crazy bad, you know. It's just that things were a little stressful. So pretty much, I was in the hospital for the few hours on Monday. We didn't have to be there until like 12:15, but thankfully he did get taken back pretty well, and everything went fine as far as the whole surgery went. He's still recovering now, but it was definitely like just a nerve-wracking time, and I didn't sleep well for many days. I finally got a good night's sleep last night, which I think is in part why I haven't been able to really update the vlog, because I've just been kind of like zoning out. And not that I'm not doing anything, but I didn't do anything for this vlog and or my novel writing in the last few days. So basically all I did was I did my videos on Monday. I watched Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays videos, and they were pretty good. You know, it was a great introduction for how to like start to really get in the head of your characters, get the plot flowing, and I really enjoyed the whole like setup. I also ended up reading a lot more in the class itself because they do a bunch of further reading. So very much it's like a class, right? Like you get your class work for the day, you have your one video, you have your assignment for writing, and then you could do further reading. So I did the further reading for days Monday and Tuesday, and they were really good. And I think like even though I know some of this information, it was still great to like see like further explanation, and I was able to kind of figure out if I was already doing some of that, which I am a little proud to say I think I'm on the right track. Maybe I'm not fully there because I haven't gotten a book published, but I do think it's great, and I can see it being applied to my short story writing as well. So overall, like I'm really enjoying what they're providing. I ended up missing the live stream on Monday because we didn't get out of the hospital until like 4. And by the time like the live stream was starting, my husband was getting into recovery, so I had no idea like was I gonna go back in 20 minutes? Was I gonna go back in an hour? I probably could have watched the live a little bit, but I just couldn't concentrate at that point. So I was just reading through some of the extended reading, and then that's where I stopped because then my husband was recovering and getting out of the anesthesia. So like I said, for the most part, he's doing well, but you know, it's not a fast recovery, so the breathing is harder, but I'm hopeful that things will continue going well for him. And as far as the rest of the week then, I had another challenge, so I have a video going out on Monday, March 4th, and I was really dedicated to finishing that because that had a submission deadline, and I needed to submit my short story by the 29th. So I did that, and that's pretty much all I did for this week so far. But right now it is about 4 o'clock. Like I said, I'm making my chili, so I'm just frying my onions right now, and then I'm gonna make my meat, and then I'm gonna put all the stuff together in the crock pot. But I do want to finish all the videos that I missed. So I missed Thursday, Friday, and today, Saturday. So I have 3 videos, and then I have the hour live. It was a live feedback session, so while I probably could be okay missing it, I would love to see like what an established writer has as far as feedback goes. So I'm pretty sure Tom Bromley is going to be editing the 3 people who asked for his feedback. You can sign up every week to have feedback from Tom directly, and everyone should be able to get at least one chance. I didn't sign up the last 2 weeks because I haven't really written anything fresh yet. So I figured in the next like week or 2, I'm probably going to sign up then. And we'll kind of go from there. But either way, even though it might not be completely necessary, I think I'm going to do it. So my goal is, it is currently, like I said, it's almost 4 o'clock. I'm going to make my dinner, and then I'm also going to make my banana bread. It's almost vegan. The only thing that's not vegan is the honey that I use, but you can also use syrup if you didn't want to make it vegan. And it's gluten-free. So it's like partially like a pre-mixture and partially like the other ingredients you have to add. And it was so good with a little bit of buttercream icing. So I'm going to make that as dessert because my husband's not feeling the best today. So I figured I would make dessert to make him feel a little better. So, all right, that's where we're at, friends. Now I'm going to go make this meat and get my chili settled. And I will check in when I'm, once again, doing something in this coursework.
As with the example from fault lines, we're getting a sense of what.
So yesterday I ended up watching all of these videos. So I am technically done with week 2, but what I didn't get to do was, after all the videos and stuff, there's this further reading, and I didn't get to read the last 2 days of that. So the voice extra reading and the and the peril. Those are the 2 areas that I didn't do. So I have them tabbed up here. I'm gonna work through those. And today is technically the rest day, so it's my catch-up day today, and I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go over here, open up my vampire, and also open up the actual document. Otherwise, I have not a lot to do, but the main goal I really have today is I need to read through Project Vampire. I have a few chapters written, as I've been stating. You know, I started this back in November, and I really want to get through it, but that means that this week, which is going into week 3, I have to start writing again. So in order to do that, I thought I was going to be taking the time over the last 2 weeks to really read through and work on my book, but it worked out that I was focusing on a short story challenge, which that video is already up if you're interested. But I was doing that short story, so it helped that I had this buffer of words there so that I can focus on the short story and then pivot completely. But now that I've taken a few days off of like writing since my short story was completed and I haven't got back into this, I definitely noticed that I am struggling a little bit to get back in that mindset. And I don't even think it's gonna be very hard to do it. It's just like me sitting down and reading it again. So I am about to go open up all of my work and stuff like that. So I'm gonna read through all of the further reading or suggested reading stuff. I'm gonna read through Vampire, and I'm also gonna check in on the community tab because I truthfully have not actually checked in much this week. And I noticed that there were lots of notifications going off. So I want to just see what people are saying, what's been posted. It is also really cool because, as I mentioned, Tom is also writing with us. So in addition to doing our like classwork, he's writing his own novel. So he kind of checks in on his own progress and shares like his triumphs, his lows, all that kind of stuff, which is really nice. It feels like a great camaraderie. In addition, I also went back and watched the live stream, which was on Monday. So I missed that because I was in the hospital with my husband, and I just wanted to get like a feel for how things were going in that live stream since I missed it. And I'm honestly really glad that I tuned in and listened to it, because I feel like it's really great to see somebody who's well established in the writing and author world give feedback. And I feel like his feedback is very fair. He definitely like does a lot of praise for like what people do right, but he also kind of says like where he thinks the weaknesses were. And the one I actually, in my head, like as I was listening to him read it, because I was doing the laundry while I was listening, and I was like, oh, this could be a cool opening, but there's too much backstory given at once. And he said the same thing, and I was like, that means I'm doing something right. So I was glad that I was on the same page as him, because I was like, I like maybe where the setup is going, but it's too much info dumping, like too much exposition, because it would be like, and then what he said too, it was like an action sequence and then a lot of exposition backstory. One action sequence backstory. And in my head, and then what he ended up saying too, was that needs to be parsed out a little bit more to make it more engaging. And yeah, so like I feel like in some ways like there are things that I would also catch as like an editor hat or a critique partner, but then there was also some things that like I wouldn't have considered at all to, cut, which is the nice thing about having like group feedback like this, is that I may have one suggestion and somebody else may have another, and that can, make your story change for the better, which I think is overall the importance of having like critique partners and beta readers. Like you want to have more than one because you get this well-rounded experience when you're going back to edit. So that's my thoughts on that. So far, like I said, I'm finishing up week 2, and I'm really enjoying everything that is going into this so far. And I'm excited to start having updates in the coming week on my own writing and seeing how that plays as I'm like listening to stuff and putting it into my story. So I am going to go get some stuff done for my writing. There's a potential that I'm going to go see Dune later. So if I do, I would like to have all of this done and set aside so that way I can start fresh again tomorrow morning when the new week starts. So that last clip was completely out of frame and that annoyed me, but I liked how I spoke in that clip, so we're keeping it, and I'm sorry that it's blurry. It is Monday, March 4th, and I'm so tired today. I had 8 sessions scheduled, 6 sessions showed up, a lot, like all my morning ones showed up, and I also just like didn't have a ton to eat. I was kind of picking like a rabbit today. And then I had an intern that was shadowing me for a little bit and asking a lot of questions. So like I was on 500% today, and I think that just like hit me a little bit. So as much as I want to like really dive into things, I know last week when I was like kind of trying to transition from doing short story work back to my novel, I had a really hard time. And I don't want to push myself a lot today. So normally I would be like, I really wanted to do some writing of my own, but I think I'm just gonna do the dishes and watch the first video of week 3 for Reedsy. This week is all about characters, and I'm very invested in like what they're gonna say for this, because not that my characters are weak, but I always think they can be improved upon, and making sure that I'm always keeping my characters having distinct voices and distinct motives. So I'm really excited for this week's content. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch the first like 15 to 20 minute video for Monday. And that's probably all I'm gonna do, to be honest. There was a masterclass that went up today that's a deep dive. I think I'm gonna say that for tomorrow morning. I can walk on the treadmill, watch that, like get into the zone there. And I think I'm just gonna listen to my body and relax for the rest of the night. It's already 8 o'clock. I was kind of in the almost like I might disassociate if I don't move, but I'm also getting tired and I don't know what else to do for myself. So we're gonna like not push ourselves and burn ourselves out for no reason. So I'm gonna watch that video. All in all, week 2 went really well. Like I said, I think I might have struggled a little bit with some paying attention because of all the stuff going on in my personal life last week. But overall, I am still enjoying the content and I am ready to dive into words this week. So just wanted to do a quick check-in that it is Monday. Things are happening and not happening at the same time. So we will check in again soon.
When we talk about stories, we quite often talk in terms of...
So I real quick wanted to mention how I am incorporating all of this information into my novel. Since I've already kind of plotted things out, I still wanted to be able to benefit from this. So for instance, Inner Tension talks about the internal conflict for characters. So I decided, as I am going through, I have my notebook dedicated solely to vampire, and I write down things that I learn every week. So this week I'm talking about my main character and, you know, kind of her being passive and submissive to the people that she trusts, but obviously like more aggressive towards herself and like angry. But like those don't always go hand in hand, but they do for her. So just to kind of say that like this is how I am trying to pull everything together. And if I'm not incorporating them directly, I am making notes to make everything stronger and keep all my thoughts in one place. Hi friends, it is Saturday, March 9th, and I unfortunately just have not been with it this week. This is one of those times where it feels like things are not lining up the way I want them to, and everything is like weighing on my mind. If you have anxiety, then you probably are familiar with that feeling of like there's so much going on and like we can't do things about half of it. And similarly, like with my ADHD, it's really hard for me to focus on writing this week because I have so many other things going on. And, you know, some of that's been like my job obligations, which is fine. Normally I can balance that. But on top of working and trying to make sure that everything is happening in my house, I continually have to worry about my husband's health. And, you know, without going into much detail because it's his life, like we have been dealing with health problems for him since last July. He just had surgery recently, and not that there's surgery complications, thankfully, but I don't know what exactly is causing more problems. And he seems to be like the symptoms that he was dealing with before surgery, which have nothing to do with the surgery, seem to be getting worse. And it's just, it's draining. It's very emotionally exhausting when your partner is not okay and you can't do anything to help in any capacity. And that has been my entire week. I've been very anxious. I've been just tired. I think I'm stress eating, which is not something I normally do, but I've been just eating a lot of food, and I feel like I'm always hungry, and I've been kind of miserable because of it. So like I didn't get to work out at all this week. I didn't get to write at all this week. I barely kept up with my Reedsy videos. I haven't checked in on the community tab all week, and that's not really where I wanted to be. So we are currently at 1 o'clock on Saturday, March 9th. And I am just gonna kind of try to take everything in stride. I have a lot that I need to catch up on, so much so that like my planner just has like lists of things I need to do, because I couldn't get them done at all this week. Not gonna lie, I haven't showered yet. I'm just kind of like, I'm here and I'm existing. The biggest thing that I sort of did, which is never like, it never finishes, because I had the dishes done before I went to the store real quick to buy a couple things for my office for work. Like I wanted to get some markers and pencils and coloring books, because I've been saying I need to buy them for 6 months. Aside from that though, I ran out to grab those real quick so I can get that off my mind, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna leave the house for the rest of the weekend now. I can just focus on everything I need to do. And from me going to the store and back, there are more dishes in my sink, which is why I think I'm perpetually like anxious and I can't focus on writing, because I feel like every time I try to do one thing, I can't catch up with it. And there's other stuff in my house, like projects that were started because my husband was feeling better and then his health like declined again, that like are just abandoned right now, and like I can't do them myself, which is super frustrating, because like I want our house to feel like whole, because it just feels cluttered, like every single area. Like even like, you know, pointing out behind me, but like there's a couple things that need to be moved from this office elsewhere, but like I can't lift them by myself. So yeah, I'm complaining, and I apologize guys, but I just want to let you know, like, this is real life writing. Even when I'm doing a class, like if I was doing this in a college setting as well, like going somewhere, I would still be the same, where I'm struggling and doing everything last minute like I'm doing now. So with that said, there are some things I need to do. I have a couple emails I have to respond to. I also have to review a book that I got, and I think I'm gonna do those now, because if I don't do them now, I don't want people to think like I'm putting them off longer. And then we're gonna solely focus on Reedsy and writing. And I think I'm gonna try doing more Pomodoro today, where I can do a little bit of writing, take a break, go do the dishes, do more writing, take a break, go do my laundry, and so I can feel like I have a balance. But yeah, I apologize that like I'm not as coherent this week as I have been in the last couple weeks. But so I'm just looking, and I only did 3 days. I did 15, 16, and 17, which I already talked about in this vlog. So today I'm gonna be doing 18, 19, and 20, which will lead me up to today. Sundays are rest days, and it's just kind of like whatever you want to take it as. So I will be using it as my catch-up day between today and tomorrow, and we will be working on change, feeling, and character. As I mentioned, week 3 has been all about like character building up them and everything, and that's been really great, because I've been working on vampire, and I've also been kind of secretly working on something else as well that I realized this is helping a lot for with my plotting. So overall, I'm still really loving this program. I'm just sad that I didn't catch up with it as much as I was expecting to. So what I think I'm gonna do is I am going to, as I said, I'm gonna do a couple emails and get some of my admin stuff out of the way, and then we can focus on writing for the rest of the night. So there we are, we're up to date. And I'll check in when all is said and done. friends, and it is the end of the vlog. We are on Sunday, March 10th, and week 3 is completed. Week 3 definitely did not go as planned, as I've already stated. It was definitely a rougher week. I did not get to the goals in the order that I wanted to. I only had to add 2,000 words to my story to be caught up with the timeline. Their goal was 75,000 words within about a 3-month period, or 101 days, which meant that by the end of this week, I should have been at 15,000 words, which, you know, I am, but I expected to get there slowly throughout the week and hopefully over. I was kind of hoping that the words I had banked, I would have been able to read through, add to, and then have kind of a surplus this week. So either I would end over 75,000 words or be like on target by the end of this whole journey. We didn't get there as planned, but we got there in the end. And honestly, this whole week has been really solid for me. I've already kind of mentioned that I'm using a lot of the knowledge that I'm getting throughout this video, so I won't be repetitive, but I do think that it set me up for a positive week 4 and 5 next. So far, everything's going pretty well. I was also just informed that for their next cohort, which is on April 8th. So if you aren't in the one that I'm currently doing, the next time this starts, like this class again, it starts on April 8th. So if you guys are interested in joining like the next one, you still have about a month to do that, which is kind of cool. I guess they're starting to pilot this new course. I'll have more information in my next vlog, I promise. But basically, in addition to the course, and I mentioned the course is pricier, it's about $1,250, even though you can split it up into 4 payments, which is awesome. They're also adding like an extra extension, like an add-on to the class where you can get 3 one-to-one sessions. In my own experience, having hired professional authors, editors to look over some of my work, the feedback has been insurmountable to me, especially like learning how to apply that into what your agents are going to be looking for if you're going the traditional publishing route. I feel like I'm kind of bummed I didn't get in on this. Like, it wasn't offered with my cohort, because even if they asked me to pay for it, I think I might have, because I think one-on-one with a professional, as they call them, seasoned book coaches, sounds pretty awesome. So I'll have more information in my next vlog, but I just wanted to let you guys know you have about a month to get in on it if you're excited. As I mentioned too earlier in this vlog, I have an affiliate link. I don't get any money directly from that link, but I can get discounts on my own products in the future if you use it. So that is kind of cool. If you're gonna sign up for this program, I would obviously ask you to use my link, but that's about all it does for me. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there just because I think it sounds pretty legit. And I will bring you more information as I know it. But yeah, some very cool stuff happening. So with that said, week 3 has ended. I am at 15,000 words for my novel, and we're on track to finish on time, which is great. Tomorrow is going to start a new vlog for me on the 11th. I also have writing club, which means I only need 1,000 words in writing club, but if I can get more, which I probably will, we're going to be ahead for the week right off the bat. So I will see you in my 3rd vlog in this series. And for now, let me know what you're working on and how your own progress and your books are going. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.